guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture. He's Phil Chambers from WhatCulture, and we are here to tell you what went down at Survivor Series 2021. And the main question is, Phil Chambers, who stole the egg?
Who stole the egg? We're going to have to wait and see.
If you haven't watched Survivor Series, you have no idea. And if you haven't watched Red Notice, even if you have watched Survivor Series, you have no idea what we're talking about. Basically, in the film Red Notice, which has got The Rock in it, and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot and what have you, there's 3 eggs that they have to collect. Vince later in the show turned up with one of the eggs.
In a limo with a crowd of people around his limo, and he got the egg out and they were just chanting, egg.
And then later on, Roman went to see him.
Was so desperate to see the egg that he went to Vince McMahon's office.
And said, oh, how much does it cost? And he went, 100 million. And he went, same as my contract when it comes up next or whatever. Which is probably true, considering all elite wrestling will be wanting Roman.
And then
someone stole the egg. And then we never found out who, and Brock Lesnar or The Rock, despite the fact people were very excited that may happen, did not appear on this show outside of maybe a video package. Anyway, enough of all that. Egg stuff to one side, Phil Chambers. This was a show with a brilliant start, a great end in terms of matches, and a lot of crap in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. It had the bookends right. Everything else, well, it was a bit of a pile of poo, including mainly the kickoff show, which was Damien Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which you would expect to just be, okay, fine, Damien Priest is going to win. No.
Did he officially turn heel?
He turned heel. He had Shinsuke Nakamura in a submission, and then he was just about to pass out, and then Rick Boogs was at the ringside, and he started reviving Nakamura with the power of whack! And it worked for a bit, which really got Damien Priest really annoyed.
The Damien side of the Damien Priest dynamic woke up.
Definitely came up. So he went over to Rick Boogs, he broke his guitar in half, he hit him in the face with it, and then he hit Shinsuke Nakamura in the face with it to disqualify himself. But he turned heel, so...
Yeah. Which panicked me because I picked Raw as the overall winner of Survivor Series in brand warfare, etc.
That was 1-0 to SmackDown.
Not that you ever found out. They didn't show a scoreboard ever once. They will not reference it.
They don't care.
It's utterly bloody pointless, and tomorrow we'll go back to, or later on today I should say, we'll go back to just not caring about Survivor Series until, well, next November. On the main card, though, when I say it started and ended well, my God, did it start off red hot. If it's not going to be the main event, it may as well be the opener. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, champion versus champion. And it's fair to say, Phil Chambers, they didn't pull many punches in this one.
No, they did not. Their punches, their slaps, their chops, their kicks. They were laying it into this. It was not a pretty match by any stretch of the imagination.
It was like a spinning back kick from Becky once, and she just kicked her square in the head.
Yeah. It was not pretty, but very, very effective.
And people may complain about the finish. You and I both thought it was actually quite a clever finish. So, as Phil said, they are, and I'm not making this up, I know sometimes we get a bit hyperbolic when we describe matches, kicking the crap out of each other, just slapping the taste any chance they get, any moment of, there's no respite where they're jaw jacking or whatever. If someone did that, then they just got told, nah, that's not happening in this match, I'm going to kick you in the gut or whatever. So Charlotte rolls Becky Lynch up and grabs the ropes, but the referee catches her, and in the midst of arguing with the referee, Becky reverses, but the referee isn't suddenly in the same position, so he doesn't see Becky grab the ropes to get a bit of leverage and win the match 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch celebrating, taunting Charlotte, who could barely look at her, and they sort of smirk and walk away from each other, but you can tell Charlotte was really pissed off by that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You could feel the animosity at the end of this. It was really good. And Charlotte had been trying a few times to hold the ropes in pins and things, and so Becky to finally get one over with her on her own tactics. I thought it was quite nice. It allows them to extend this if they do want to go into this in the future somehow. There's a lot more that they can do with this. But as a match, really, really entertaining. Well worth a watch, I'd say.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't take your eyes off that one. Let's move on to the first 5-on-5 match. It was the men's 5-on-5 elimination match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And as a staunch supporter of Team Raw for the evening, not happy when Kevin Owens immediately walked out of the match. He got counted out. Then it sort of went the way you would suspect, I suppose. Happy Corbin got hit with the coup de grace. Then we had Xavier Woods, who got taken out with the Hurt Lock.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre brawled with each other. It was a nice sort of callback to their never-ending feud. They brawl so much that they both get counted out. Finn Balor goes for another coup de grace on Sheamus, but Sheamus dodges out of the way and Finn Balor turns around into a bro kick. Sheamus then got rolled up by Austin Theory and angrily fought his only other teammate in Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy manages to get a pinfall on Austin Theory, but then Seth Rollins dodged out of the way of, he got his knees up, I should say, on a swanton bomb. Curb stomps, or whatever it's called nowadays. Jeff Hardy, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins, as we probably called, considering he's the number one contender. The sole survivor for Team Raw. My God, this went on long, Phil.
Yeah, it was way too long, the match in itself, and not that entertaining. It was fine. As far as the 5-on-5 matches on this card go, it was the best of them. It was the best of them. But I definitely wouldn't watch either of them. But we moved on to more excitement, because it was the 25th anniversary of The Rock, of course, who didn't show up on the show, I've got to say.
And loads
of video packages. We didn't even have him via satellite or anything.
Not even him talking on it. Like, I remember the time I didn't win the Royal Rumble in the year 2000.
Yeah, nothing. But it was the 25th anniversary, so we had the 25-man Battle Royale in honour of The Rock, and
everyone fought their own teammates.
The Raw team was fighting the Raw team, the SmackDown team was fighting the SmackDown team. Got to the end and it was like Cesaro and Sheamus and Ricochet, and they tried to work together but they didn't.
And there was the pizza stuff.
And then Cesaro and Ricochet worked together with the Street Profits to eliminate Omos, because how can you get him over the top rope? But then it didn't really work and he ended up winning it, because of course he did. And then there was a bunch of pizza, and then the Street Profits hurled pizza at the audience, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it was to promote Pizza Hut or something. And when there's a product placement in WWE recently gone wrong whatsoever,
they threw so much pizza at the crowd.
I mean, What was the pissing point in this? And I know that the mid-card title match went to a DQ, so but the fact this was on the main show, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was bad, don't watch it.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. What was quite good, though, was what followed it. The tag team match. Tag team champions versus tag team champions. The Usos versus RK Bro. First of all, the Usos in all white. Oh, that looked nice. I sense that Michael
Blue socks, though. Still Team SmackDown.
Exactly. And yeah, an enjoyable match. Randy Orton breaking the record, as we reported in the news earlier on, for pay-per-view matches.
77 pay-per-view matches.
And yeah, he did all the Randy Orton things. He was out of the match for ages. Riddle took a lot of the offense. And then he came in and did some scoop slams and that thing off the ropes and all the usual bollocks. And he won the match for his team with, why else? An RKO out of nowhere. There was a little blind tag that the Usos didn't see. So one of them, Jimmy or Jay, I can't remember which one it was kicking the crap out of Riddle, went up top to do a big old Uso splash, except when he came off the top, Orton caught him with an RKO. Yes, he still did land on Riddle, and Orton couldn't have given less of a toss, but he hit him with an RKO. 1, 2, 3. RK Bro get the pinfall victory. Another win for Team Raw.
Yes, Raw on a clean sweep of the main show so far. But it was a fun match. It was fine. It was what it was. And then we moved on, and it was the 5-on-5 women's match.
Oh, this was not a good match.
And yeah. You talk about fine matches. This was not it. We're really, really going downhill here. This did not click in any way, shape, or form.
From the moment Carmella was the first elimination because she had to do something with her mask or something.
Zelina Vega was trying to sort a mask out and then accidentally pulled it off, and then Carmella got rolled up. I don't know. It was really
There was
bad.
a lot of bad. Basically, they tried to limit it down to let's just give Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair a bit of shine.
Yeah.
And then even then, they all hit their finisher basically on to Rhea Ripley to get her eliminated.
Yeah.
And then there was either 3-on-1 or 4-on-1 advantage on Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
It was 4-on-1.
It was 4-on-1.
Because, tell them about Sasha's elimination, Phil. This really wound you up.
So the saving grace of this match was the Sasha and Bianca stuff, because of course it was, calling back to that amazing WrestleMania match. But they couldn't just leave it at that, because they had to have some utter bollocks with Sasha Banks.
They couldn't coexist, Phil.
Shotzi pulled her off the apron because, Shotzi hates Sasha Banks and all that. So then she was on the outside and they were fighting, and Sasha Banks pushed Shotzi and she hit Shayna Baszler. So then Shayna Baszler got mad. So she started pushing Sasha Banks around. And then Natalya joined in because earlier in the match, she kind of fell off the apron and she didn't really need to. I think that's why she was angry. I don't quite understand it. So all three of them then got really annoyed at Sasha and they started brawling on the outside, and all this time Sasha was getting counted out by the referee, and it got to like 8, and then Sasha got in the ring and then they pulled her back out of the ring, but it didn't break the count, so it got to 9, and then by the time it got to 10, she was literally like half of her body, entire body was between the ropes inside the ring. It was just her feet sticking out, and then they pulled her, and while she was still halfway in the ring, the referee still counted 10.
Bollocks,
and it's just like, yeah, no one has that. And then that was Sasha out of there. And then because it was all the heels left, Bianca Belair just kind of
really
ran through them all.
Sloppy stuff. Bianca like powering out of the sharpshooter because Natalya isn't good at it apparently. Hitting Shayna Baszler, then she got rolled up, and then my
Shayna
favourite was
just had the Kirifuda clutch locked in, but then she just kind of let it go.
Just let it go, and then then you get beaten. So then she got pinned, and it was Shotzi and Bianca, and it was again a bit sloppy. Bianca was doing the best that she could.
Yeah.
A ridiculous power game stuff again from her, and she just picked her up at one point. KOD 1, 2, 3. Another win for Team Raw.
Who knew?
And and
another match to not watch.
It was long and crap.
Yeah.
And then we got to the main event. It was Biggie versus Roman Reigns, and this was a ripper.
Yeah, absolutely. This, from the moment it had that sort of big match feel, it was two big dudes going up against each other and something that people were very excited about. It instantly got the crowd back invested into the match, because during the women's match there was like Mexican waves.
Oh yeah, they stopped once Bianca and Sasha got in.
Yes.
There was a large point where they were doing Mexican waves or chanting for CM Punk.
Yeah, like you do. But yeah, this was just two big dudes beating each other up quite a lot. Slapping man meat, as Biggie would like to say.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Just all the big spots you would expect. So Biggie doing that mad dive that we always think he's going to break his neck on, where he dives through the ropes.
Yeah.
Roman, really nice spot with Roman hitting multiple Superman punches and getting more and more convinced that this one will put him down, this one will put him down. And then the third one did, and he does the big ooh ah, but the time he's taken to do that and jaw jack with the crowd, Biggie's back up and in his face, and Roman just does the best confused face of like, why aren't you dead? Biggie hit a big ending out of nowhere. He looked like he might have the match won, but he was too close to the ropes. Roman grabbed the ropes, and then there was a couple of times when they threw each other into the steps, and the steps just goddamn exploded, basically. But in the end, Roman hoyed Biggie into the steps, chucked him back into the ring after hitting him with a Superman punch off the steps, targeted the knee to knock him down, hit him with another spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, for the first time on the main card, getting a win for SmackDown, because he's the only good thing about SmackDown, defeating Biggie, but Biggie has a bit of an excuse, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. This was really good though, like between sort of just two big main event stars. Good stuff. And yeah, it's just what you'd expect from Roman Reigns at this sort of level that he's been at for quite a while now.
I want to know who stole the egg.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing.
The egg's the big question.
Like I don't think anybody cares about anything else that has happened on Survivor Series apart from who stole the egg.
What do you think is there's more likelihood of them following up on this week on TV? Egg stuff, or the fact that Raw, aside from Roman Reigns and a DQ, dominated Survivor Series?
Yeah, probably neither. They don't care about Survivor Series, so why should we?
Yep.
And that's our review.
We're on the countdown to day 1! Bollocks to Survivor Series, that's in the rear view.
On to the next one.
So yeah, well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I sense it's going to be a spicy day down there. Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and Ampler are just off now to go and discuss it in further detail. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions for the news in the morning on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Phil Chambers at
Phil My Chambers, and you can follow Adam Wilborn at
Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. If you're trying to remember that, it's the name of the channel plus W plus another W, and then the letter that starts the word egg. Because this was all about egg stuff. Right, this has been what went down at Survivor Series. Someone stole Vince's egg.
Yeah.
In Cliff Notes, Becky and Charlotte kicked the crap out of each other. Biggie and Roman had a nice big hoss fight. Bollocks in the middle, and someone stole Vince's egg. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Phil. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Egg.